and welcome to our webinar today. Just a few quick housekeeping items before we officially get started. Just so that everyone is fully aware, we will be recording this session and we'll be distributing it to those who were not able to join us live. So from our team on the back end, I think we're good to go as far as recording. Also, if you have any questions that you'd like answered during the Q&A portion of this webinar, please feel free to submit those throughout the presentation. So I am Cassandra Coleman, and welcome again. Thanks for joining us. And I'm the Executive Director of America250PA. And America250PA is the Commonwealth's commission that is charged with coordinating Pennsylvania's efforts in coordination with the National Commission, America250, to celebrate the United States' 250th anniversary in 2026. Our mission at America250PA is that we're striving to make 2026 epic as we educate, preserve, innovate, and celebrate every Pennsylvanian in every county. We're so excited to be here again as we are getting ready to officially announce the challenge for the second annual America250PA Direct Effect Innovation Challenge. The creative and innovative concepts and ideas that our next generation of Pennsylvania students displayed last year were simply amazing. And we cannot wait to see what they have in store for us this year. Very quickly, we are going to go over the agenda of today's speakers. So again, I'm Cassandra Coleman from America250PA. We have one of our student participants from last year, Rivera. We're also going to be hearing from one of our education advisors from last year, actually from the winning team from Wilkes University, Lisa Reynolds. We are so honored to have with us the Pennsylvania Secretary of Education, Pedro Rivera. And then we also will hear from Joe Boylan and Vicki Stephen, who are part of our innovation team. So let's get started. As I mentioned, we were extremely impressed with the student participation last year. And speaking of one of those amazing students, we have with us today Bree Farron, who was a participant with the Point Park University team last year out of Pittsburgh. And a really quick tidbit about their group was Bree's group was the only all-female group that had participated, which is a really cool fact. So Bree, welcome. And why don't you talk to our attendees today just about your experience with the Direct Effect Innovations Challenge as a student participant?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today. And it's really an honor to continue being part of the America 250 journey. I do have to start off by saying I apologize for any thunder you hear in the background. It is storming pretty good in Pittsburgh right now. But personally for me, one of the best parts of the competition was really the brainstorming process that led into the competition. All of the girls on my team came from very diverse backgrounds of study, from business, marketing, data science, and I was personally multimedia and graphic design. So that multidisciplinary approach starting off was so beneficial for all of us. We really, learned a lot from each other, and I got to explore fields that I really wouldn't have been able to explore if it wasn't for an opportunity like this. As far as the framework of the competition goes, knowing that we were designing something for a real client and also knowing that our work could be used as part of the nation's history really drove us to put like 150% into all of the ideas and content that we were creating. And really, it was the first time for me that I acknowledged how much of a positive impact I can have in my field of graphic design. In addition to that, we met some incredibly talented professionals along the way from USPS, R.R. Donnelly, so many places, who were all instrumental in helping us take our ideas to new heights that we thought, going in, we'd never be able to reach. So we're very thankful for that. And though we didn't win in the end, we did walk away knowing that we put, true passion and hard work into the work that we created. So what has happened since the competition, I gained personally so much confidence in so many different areas, just from public speaking to working in a team environment, doing things like this. I really feel much more prepared now. I have successfully been freelancing since I graduated in April, considering that, I designed the mail piece for our team and had, the experience of designing it from scratch to preparing the final files for print production. So I greatly enhanced my design skills, and in fact have recently had a client reach out asking for a mail piece after seeing the mail piece that I designed for the team. In addition to that, I've just been, staying connected with all of the professionals I made, or the connections I made, during the competition, through which I had more opportunities, such as promoting a weekly marketing webinar and really just staying involved in the process and, along the America 250 and direct effect journey. And I'm more inspired more than ever to take my ideas to new heights. And it's amazing to know that I have such an incredible support system now to encourage me to do so. And lastly, I'd really just like to say I really encourage, educators, schools, students, really anyone to get involved in live client projects like America 250PA and the Direct Effect Challenge. I truly feel this is the most beneficial way for engaging students in the classroom and preparing them for the real world. I know my team and I benefited so much from it. So I highly encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. Reach out to me, connect with me on LinkedIn, talk to any of the panelists here today who are really invested in the success of students in the future and for Pennsylvania. And I can't speak highly enough of this initiative. So thank you again so much for having me, and I will now turn it back over to Cassandra.
Great. Thank you for not only being here, but for participating. And honestly, good luck with everything that you're doing. And I'm going to say it in front of everybody here that I hope that you'll partner with us this year as this round, starts to kick off, and we could start talking to folks, and you can share your experience with students and some of the schools that participate. Because again, thank you for, for speaking so highly of the challenge, and just, good luck with everything that you're doing, especially with your new business. So it's so great to hear such a great testimonial from students.
Thank you so much.
So last year, we had over 240 students representing over 30 colleges participate. And we went through campus rounds and then regional rounds and ultimately a final round where Wilkes University in Luzerne County ultimately won the state competition with their concept, Pennsylvania First and Foremost. And we are so lucky to have the Wilkes team education advisor, Lisa Reynolds, here with us today. So Lisa, thanks for being here. Why don't you share with everybody from an advisor and an educational advisor level what your experience was?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having me today. As Cassandra said, I am an assistant professor in the digital design and media art major here at Wilkes University. And, a few things to know about us. We're a small university and an even smaller program. This opportunity for our students was a really exciting way to put them into a situation that they otherwise would not have been in. As I said, we are a design major. We're very design focused. So, this is a multidisciplinary campaign that the students are creating. So for us to be able to push them out of their comfort zone and into areas like campaign creation, media buying, print buying, all of these sort of nuts and bolts aspects that are part of developing a campaign, they absolutely would not otherwise have had that experience. So that was a really exciting opportunity for our students. Most of our students are local. All of the students on the team are from Pennsylvania. So it was really exciting for them to be able to work on a Pennsylvania focused project. And the most beautiful thing to see was them answering the initial question of what makes Pennsylvania special? What makes Pennsylvania important? And being able to watch them not only come to that realization in their minds about how they feel about themselves and their position in their neighborhood and in their community, but to them use their skills that they're working for and they're attaining to be able to manifest that message out statewide has been exceptionally exciting for the students. As Cassandra said, we ended up coming up with Pennsylvania First and Foremost. And that is because, surprisingly, Pennsylvania, in addition to being the first nation's capital, whatever, DC. In addition to being the first nation's capital, Pennsylvania is home to a number of firsts. The first hospital, the first computer, the first, I believe, instance that coal is used for heating. So all of these really wonderful things that we're able to celebrate from our past are super easy to find, and a lot of people are unaware of them. So once we sort of latched on to that concept of Pennsylvania firsts, excuse me, Pennsylvania first and foremost flowed out pretty easily. One thing I absolutely loved, and I think that you will see this in the competition this year, is, when we were on site at the Innovation Center during the second round, we had our own little areas, and you had all these teams, and you had these teams sort of feverishly working together. And that's the sort of beautiful student innovation work that we get to see every single day as educators. And, people in the community and people in the business community aren't really able to see all the time. So watching that innovation live happen in real time was super, super exciting for us. It was a wonderful opportunity, and I could not recommend it enough. We were also really, really fortunate to win the competition. Thank you so much. So the students, got a really wonderful experience being on a statewide stage and interacting with the other teams at the statewide round of the competition, learning from them. They loved the Point Park project. Congratulations to your team as well, Bree, because the work was absolutely wonderful. We were a little scared that you were gonna edge us out at one point. But also being exposed to students who do what they do at other schools was a really exciting opportunity for our students at the statewide competition. So I would urge anybody who's sort of on the fence about participating in the competition to definitely register and start down the road, because and we'll talk a little bit about this later, but also the size of our school doesn't necessarily allow for a lot of inter-school competition when we were deciding which team would sort of represent us. So we were able to customize that experience to what made sense for our school and our program when we're not working with hundreds and hundreds of students the way some other programs are. And we were also extremely fortunate to have a video created by Discover Any. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself. We were also extremely fortunate to work with Cassandra and her team at America250PA to create this mail piece that was sent to over 4,000 families in Pennsylvania, across Pennsylvania, that was based off of our concept and our design. So, imagine being a 22-year-old recent grad, looking for a job, maybe, finding it to be a difficult market, and then having this wonderful piece hit mailboxes and knowing that you were part of the creation and the messaging in that. It's a really powerful thing to have happen. And as I said, we were also really, really fortunate. Discover Any PA is a fantastic economic driver here in our region, and they are known for producing just top quality, excellent video content. So they were kind enough to come in and produce a little bit of a video about our America250PA experience. So I'm gonna let the masterful videographers at Discover Any PA tell the story a little bit better than I can.
The America250PA competition was a statewide competition that invited different universities from across the state to enter in a marketing concept for when America turns 250 in 2026, and the competition revolved around creating a concept that would be able to engage all of Pennsylvania.
For what we did, we actually competed in the statewide competition where we focused on Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania's first, and that was actually the driving force behind our campaign.
Our project idea specifically had a lot to do with user-generated content, so a lot of the stuff that we developed was more to get people's attention to get involved themselves.
You had to have different sorts of executions of your concept for the competition. One of our main ones was an interactive board. We also had to do a direct mailer component that would be mailed out to different municipalities. We also did out-of-home ads, so we would put advertisements on things like buses and cities.
I think being a designer gave us a leg up. People really do pay attention to presentation.
We could actually bring our concepts to fruition as opposed to just it being a concept.
There were some other really strong concepts. I think we were, really wondering. Our concept was really strong, and it was planned so that it would be able to engage everybody in Pennsylvania. And at that competition, we won.
Thank you, Lisa, for your testimonial on the educational advisor side of this. And, I have to piggyback off of what you said, watching these students in the regional competitions, you know, I remember calling Joe after the regional competition in the Northeast, and I said, oh my God, this is one of the highlights of my job so far with this commission. Watching these students put their heart and souls into these concepts and be so excited to give those epic pitches to the judging panel was just, honestly, it was amazing to watch, and it was just so inspiring to watch.
Yeah. It's magical, and we're so fortunate that we get to watch that magic every day, and it's wonderful when we can share that with those of you in the community. So thank you so much, Cassandra.
Thanks, Lisa. So it's now actually my honor to introduce someone who has been a friend and supporter of the America250PA Commission from the very beginning. Someone who knows how important it is to engage the next generation of Pennsylvanians, but has also seen firsthand the amazing things that they can accomplish when they put their minds to something. So I am honored to introduce our Pennsylvania Department of Education Secretary, Pedro Rivera, who will be announcing the official challenge issued to the students this year. Pedro?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Cassandra. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here, and great to see everyone again. And, you know, of course, as you shared, I am just so happy and excited to be able to participate in this year's announcement. And I know my colleague on the governor's cabinet, Major General Anthony Corelli, is also in attendance today. So, Tony, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I'm also joined by Pennsylvania Deputy Secretary for Post-Secondary and Higher Education, Noe Ortega, who's excited to be joining the America250PA Commission and represent the Department of Education as Pennsylvania prepares for our nation's 250th anniversary celebration in 2026.
Thank you, Secretary Rivera, and it's an absolute honor and privilege to be able to serve the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in this role and continue the great work that Secretary Rivera has been put in place. Quick kind of highlight in terms of the scope of the Direct Effect Innovation Challenge, which we've been hearing tremendous things about. You know, essentially you had 35 Pennsylvania colleges and universities participating, 8 regional winners, 47 educators, 24 students, 20 Pennsylvania businesses, all involved. And as Dr. Reynolds pointed out earlier, tons of faculty as well that provided support to all these students. We had this one unique challenge that everybody got around 15 counties. And then in the end, we had the one winner, the university, and not to mention the limitless talent that was part of this. So this was an absolute privilege to sort of observe and hear the vignettes from folks who participated. So just to get a sense of the scope of the project. Secretary Rivera, I'll hand it back to you to continue with the announcement.
Yeah, thank you, Noe. As Deputy Secretary Ortega shared, it's the inaugural year. The Commonwealth saw tremendous participation in the Direct Effect Innovation Challenge from schools around the state. Unsurprisingly, our students knocked it out of the park, showing amazing creativity and weaving an innovative spirit through their integrated marketing concepts. As a result, the event was a huge success. Today, we're again encouraging Pennsylvania students to flex their creative muscles in tackling this year's challenge. Buy PA. We all know there are millions of reasons to be PA proud, and now students get to decide how they would promote the Commonwealth's homegrown business, whether it's supporting a new entrepreneur, growing a local small business, launching a startup, or promoting an existing business. The sky is the limit. Students will tell us why they are PA proud and develop concepts that can help our businesses thrive and celebrate the spirit of Pennsylvania, the state that helped build our nation. Our Commonwealth and our country were built on both ingenuity and original thinking. And these are the same concepts that drive our communities today. I'm excited to see what our students, Pennsylvania's future innovators, leaders, and teachers develop in response to this year's challenge. And again, I want to thank the Commission, thank Cassandra for inviting me and allowing me to participate in this amazing opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Secretary, for joining us. Thank you, Noe, for also joining us. How exciting, right? Everybody, buy Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has so much to offer. Businesses, products, cool facts. You know, how do we showcase to the nation, the rest of the nation, and in some cases even the world, why we are all Pennsylvania proud? What do we have within the Commonwealth that we want to showcase? What do we have that we want to expand? What don't we have here in the Commonwealth that we want to see? And for our students, that is for you, our next generation of Pennsylvanians, to decide. You are our future. And what does the future of Pennsylvania look like to you? It is now my pleasure to introduce the America250PA Innovation Team lead, who, like Secretary Rivera, has been a staunch supporter of America250PA since day one and has worked with me day and night, literally, to try to figure out how we truly have an impact on communities across this Commonwealth. And I can promise you that we are just getting started. Joe Boylan is an amazing friend, amazing leader, and one of the best innovative and creative minds that I have ever come across. And we are so lucky to have him as a partner with us, with the rest of the innovation team. So Joe, I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you, Cassandra, for that very kind introduction. Really appreciate that. And you know, we're so fortunate to be a part of America250PA. And the moment that you introduced it to us, we were hook, line, and sinker. We were on board. So excited to be a part of it again this year. And what I think we're so excited about this year's challenge, which Secretary Rivera just announced, it's not only for its endless interpretations, but it really truly comes at one of the greatest time of needs for all of the businesses in Pennsylvania. And quite simply, when we say buy PA, it's about buying into Pennsylvania businesses. We want the direct effect challenge to provide our schools and students with a blank canvas to get creative and design an integrated strategy to celebrate and innovate business in Pennsylvania. For example, as Secretary mentioned, students can design an initiative to inspire women, minority, and veteran entrepreneurs. They can create interactive platforms to support and enhance small businesses. They can highlight the historic and core brand names in a rich history of commerce in Pennsylvania. Or they can even create an online marketplace to shop Pennsylvania. Our goal is to engage and activate the creative and innovative minds of our next generation to reimagine a new business landscape for the Commonwealth and leverage the truly magical bond that occurs when the academic and business communities come together. And Tom, if we could move on to the next slide, I really want to focus and spend a few minutes really that the word epic that you've heard from the beginning from Cassandra. This really truly leads up to this epic celebration in 2026. America250PA, it's a movement. It's a celebration of the rich history of our Commonwealth. And it's no better illustrated than in the core values of America250PA: to educate, to preserve, to innovate, and to celebrate. And the Direct Effect Innovation Challenge allows us to engage and unite Pennsylvanians around who we are, what we've done, and what we're doing, to celebrate the past and to let the best of that past inform our present and drive our future. In launching the program, which was last year's challenge, we wanted to connect Pennsylvania's storied past with where we are today and envision ways that we could engage everyone in the Commonwealth in the 6-year effort. Involving our students was a great way to connect the entire effort with the future. And having seen the results of that competition at the finals last year in November, and hearing from Bree today, and hearing from Lisa from Wilkes University, our future's so bright. We have a lot of great marketers and designers in our colleges and universities, and we couldn't have a better resource for putting Pennsylvania's best foot forward. So as we move on, Tom, if you could advance the slide, America250PA has identified 10 epic focus areas to guide our efforts as we march towards 2026 and the nation's 250th birthday. These focus areas bind us together and define who we are as a Commonwealth. And just as we did last year, we want our students to utilize these pillars as guides for inspiration as they develop and pitch their concepts. More importantly, as we will now discuss with some help from our innovation team members, We intend the 2020 Innovation Challenge to drive home a theme of integration, leveraging these concepts into actionable campaigns, allowing students to work and interact with businesses and entrepreneurs from across the Commonwealth. Now, I would like to take a moment and recognize the core partners of our America250PA Innovation Team. As Cassandra mentioned, I am the Executive Director of Wilkes-Barre Connect, which is the entrepreneur and economic development arm of the Greater Wilkes-Barre Chamber. In addition to Connect, we have our friends from Throughline, formerly MAGA Design, and the United States Postal Service. And at this time, I want to introduce one of our core partners of the America250PA Innovation Team and the force behind the direct effect curriculum, Vicki Stephen, the lead executive of Small Business Strategy Development for the United States Postal Service, who will now walk us through the process behind this year's challenge. Vicki?
There we go. Now you can hear me. Okay, we'll do that again. Joe, thank you so much for the kind introduction. Cassandra, the rest of the team here today, we're so grateful to be a part of this really epic celebration and the planning and all the exciting things that are going to occur over the coming few years. Now, a couple of folks have asked, why is the Postal Service involved in this process? And if you're a student of history, you might know that the Postal Service has actually been around for longer than our nation. The Postal Service was created by the Second Continental Congress in 1775. So our histories, that of the Postal Service and the nation, are intertwined. And the Postal Service has been helping to connect commerce and communications and all kinds of information across the nation for a couple hundred years now. And our future is much brighter as we look ahead. Tough times ahead, but we always find our way through tough times. So one of the things that we've been doing over the last couple of years, as the world is going increasingly digital, we've been changing the focus for how we talk about mail and how we talk about shipping and commerce. And we have worked together with industry experts and with educators to create this direct effect curriculum, which shows the power of mail in omni-channel campaigns. It's a great tool to use to leverage your marketing muscles and get news and information out and help people participate in the things that are important. And we think this is a great pairing of goals and initiatives and resources. So we're really excited to be coming together again this year for the Buy PA part of the Innovation Challenge for 2020. Now on the next slide, what we really want to do, some of these Innovation Challenge goals, now that we have the Buy PA focus, is to work with inspired students from colleges across the Commonwealth. And you've seen just a few snippets. These students, this generation of students, have powerful ideas. They're powerfully connected. They have big ideas and they have great ways of bringing their ideas to fruition. And we need that forward-looking focus as we face the challenges ahead. So bringing that inspirational thinking engine from the students and from the educators across the Commonwealth, we want to help to promote the Pennsylvania economy and create integrated marketing campaigns that accomplish several things. First, we want to promote Pennsylvania businesses, both present and future. And it doesn't have to be just a business. It could be, just like Cassandra said, a way of enabling the future. What else do our future innovators, these students who are going to be the backbone of our future economy, need to bring forward the economy of Pennsylvania into the future? We want to promote growth opportunities. We want to encourage Pennsylvanians. We want everyone in the Commonwealth to participate in this process, support local businesses, engage in this celebration of Pennsylvania and the nation's history. And we want to help connect students, marketers, innovators, experts within Pennsylvania, and really help highlight all of what's possible to take these campaign ideas forward. On the next slide, what I want to do is walk you through what this process looks like. So this year's Innovation Challenge with the Buy PA focus is going to, again, have 3 rounds. The first round will complete by the 3rd of October. This is a campus round. So you at every university and college across the Commonwealth have an opportunity to get in and really design how you want to orchestrate that campus round on your campus. We want you to create a marketing concept that, as we say, meets the moment, meets what's going on in our world, in our environment, that looks to those epic pillars that Joe mentioned and helps support this epic celebration. Now, we want our student teams to look beyond just that concept and think ahead to how they can pull that concept into the future rounds. The second round, again, will be a regional round. It will be toward the end of October, the week of October 24th. In the second round, the students will take the concepts that they develop in round one, and they'll build an integrated B2B campaign, a way to get businesses on board to engage with the concept that they develop to help support Buy PA and America250PA. The students will pitch these ideas with their concepts and their mock-ups of all the campaign elements that they would propose taking forward. And from each of the 4 regions, 2 winners will emerge. Many will go in, 2 will emerge. And so the winners of the regional rounds will advance to the week of November 16th, the third and final round, where we will crown a grand prize winner. Now, the reason we want the students to think through all 3 rounds in advance is, round 1 is the idea. Round 2 is the business to business, get business on board. How do we market to businesses to get them to participate in the process? Round 3 is the campaign to consumers, to your residents across Pennsylvania. How do you get your residents on board to engage with the Buy PA businesses that you are going to bring on board in round 2? So it's a thread that we pull through several months. We need the students to bring that unbridled passion and ideas. You heard some of that from Bree, and all of the teams that we saw, like everyone has said, have just been amazing. They will have fabulous ideas, but we want them to think through the orchestration of each of those rounds so that that initial concept has enough legs that they can really build on it and become the winner in the final round. On the next slide, so what's new? What have we changed from last year? We were so privileged to have such great participation in our inaugural year last year. This year, not a surprise, we're going 100% virtual. It's 100% over Zoom, which can be challenging, but it also creates some new opportunities. This lets anyone participate in a very easy kind of a way. We're also going in greater depth this year. So for the 2020 competition, we want to make sure that the students can create these B2B campaigns and the consumer campaigns. So it's a lot beefier competition. We want them to think further down the line so that they can really grow legs with these campaigns. And we think that this new focus with the Buy PA theme will really help the students crystallize those ideas and pull them forward through the competition. So in terms of the benefits of participation, we think that this is one of these opportunities that everybody that gets on board has a win. The schools have great opportunities to collaborate, to create, to showcase their work across the Commonwealth. The faculty, you heard from Lisa and her team's experience, it's a great way to pull students into real life active projects that have real implications and real meaning. And it's just delightful to see them engage in this process. You also heard from Bree about the student contributions. This is not just a one-time campaign. This is something that they can take with them, grow networks, grow additional benefits, grow a business, just like Bree's doing. She's barely out of school and she's growing her business on the back of this kind of an experience and the network she built through this process. And of course, underlying all of this are the benefits to all the Pennsylvania businesses. Of course, to the commission, we want the commission to get some great results, and we're sure they will through this process. And to the residents of Pennsylvania, to get everybody plugged in, get everybody participating, and really pull through this process. So how do you start? What's the next step? For each of our university presidents and administrators and anybody that you know that's not on the call today, we encourage every school in Pennsylvania to get plugged in, to get started. Choose an academic leader, choose someone that can help orchestrate the activities of the students, just like Lisa has done for her team. Visit our site, visit the site at www.america250pa.org and click on the Innovation Challenge tab to find all the tools and resources that you need to get started and understand what lies ahead for the challenge. Click on the registration link, get your team signed up, and have your academic leader and your teams attend the webinar to understand how to run that first round, campus round challenge. Okay? So for the campus rounds, a few considerations, a few seeds to plant for you. To run the campus round, what do you need? You need students. We want you to have all kinds of choice in how you go about bringing this process to your students. In some cases, the students may bring it to their administrators and their professors as well. So we encourage bottom up and top down participation in this process. Last year, we learned from a lot of the folks who participated, there's lots of different ways to find those students. You can open up to all students on your campus. It's easy to do because it's virtual. You could have it go through a specific class, have it be the project of a specific class or course and pull through there. Or you can select students that are in a particular discipline that you want to bring forward to this process. We leave that up to you and your campus to decide what's best for you and your student body and the folks that you have available to help support this process. You have to be able to participate in video conferencing. We're all getting pretty darn good at that, despite the fact that some of us forget to turn off the mute button. We need you to identify judges. Select a panel of judges. Decide yourself who you want to have judge and weigh in on the ideas that the students are bringing forward. And from a time perspective, this is not a heavy lift in terms of the amount of time. We believe the campus round, as we've described it, will take an hour or two, depending on how many folks you have participating in the process. So it's a pretty straightforward way to get started, to get underway, but it brings these really great big ideas to bear, and it seems like a great way to get some inspirational, fun new activities on your campus for the fall. So the next slide. So, and just as one other tidbit, this is an example of the kind of output from that first round process. With those couple of hours, the teams will create their concepts. They'll provide a description of the concept. They'll provide relevant links to information, context for that concept. Then they'll share insights. Why is this the idea that they think is important to represent by PA, to represent Pennsylvania and the Commonwealth, to help celebrate by PA, to look at all of the epic pillars and really help pull forward for this campaign. So we want the teams to talk about how their concept accomplishes that. And then we'd love to have the student teams create visuals. Create a logo, an image, a design, an example of what they plan to pull forward. That's all it is. That's all that has to be submitted at the end of round one, is all of the concepts that you see here for all of the teams that participate. And those teams will go into consideration then. The winning campus teams will go into consideration in round two. So it's a pretty straightforward process. It's a really innovating process, and there's a lot of freedom to adapt it in the way that fits for your students in your campus. So what are our next steps? On the last slide here, we encourage you, get that academic leader appointed so they can help champion the efforts, just like Lisa has done and so many other educators across the state in our process last year. Get your team registered. The academic leaders will attend a webinar where we will walk through the details of round one and those subsequent rounds. We have an email address there, team@directeffectinnovation.com. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to work with you and your teams to help make sure that you're on the right track and that you can really dominate in those campus rounds to bring forward these great ideas. And really, we really want to help open the floodgates and help shape, not only honor the history, but help shape the future of Pennsylvania and celebrate it with our nation together. So with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Joe and see if we have any questions or any other comments from anyone who's in attendance today. Joe?
Yes, thank you, Vicki. Great presentation as well. And I think, to highlight that, I think the key takeaway from your portion of the presentation is what the lessons learned from last year, right? And understanding that each school is different and how they approach and how they envision how their campus challenge could work. So I think even greater emphasis this year placed on being there right alongside each college or university to help them create and formulate the campus challenge that works best for them. And as you mentioned, we've had situations where they've opened it up to the entire campus, they integrated into an existing class, or just found, a great set of students that they knew wanted to be a part of this. And so we give that flexibility. Our goal is we want to get out of the way. We don't want to stop innovation. We want that to keep coming through. So as part of our innovation team, our focus is to continue to do that. And just some questions that have come in during the presentation. I've reached out through the chat, but just to kind of bring them forward, some of which we covered, Vicki, during your component, but registration and materials, when are they available? They're available right now.
Right now.
America250PA.org. You can go on right now. If there's going to be a race, see who could be the first school to register. Less than 2 minutes to register to go on there. But if you go on to America250PA.org, as Vicki mentioned, under the Innovation Challenge tab, you'll see the opportunity to access the registration right there. We've also built an action center for each school there. So not only will you see the registration tab, you'll see the toolkit that we've created for each educator. We've developed the guidelines. We've provided the overview. You'll actually see a link that will be available once our webinar is scheduled in the future. And then also there is frequently asked questions and a direct link to the email address that Vicki had provided in our last slide. So utilize that action center. We literally love questions coming in. The more interaction we have, the better we feel as a team. The second question, which I absolutely love coming in, and we talked about a little bit, I think all of us at some point, about how will the students or how can they integrate with businesses. I think that's the beauty of the team and the commission working together in this initiative. All of us bring our networks and our thought process to the table. And we know that, you know, we've all had experience in academic situations or higher ed before that. It's so difficult. And we really encountered that last year of professors always looking to try to interact with business. It's always difficult. So for us, we envision us being that glue right in the middle. We're going to bring business community together and marry that with our academic community. So that's on us as a team. We look forward to working with the commission and really helping solidify those relationships with schools and the business community. And I think, again, really one thing that I want to make very clear, and I'm so happy, not because I'm from the region, but Wilkes University winning last year, the teams that didn't win, I mean, we had students crying in the hallway after. I mean, it meant so much to them. And I think it was that really that light bulb moment of we said, you know, it's just not one campaign. We have to make sure that all of these campaigns get out. And what you'll hopefully see very soon from the America250PA Commission is some of these projects and concepts that were created by teams, some of which that didn't even make the finals, are ready to be enacted and ready to go live. So that's the beauty of this thing. And what we really, really, really want to focus on this year is every concept, every hour that that student puts in, it's going to be out there. And we want to make sure that we get those concepts to our commission, to all the businesses across the Commonwealth, because we know that the magic happens when these businesses see the creative and innovative minds of these students. So it's on us, and that's really our focus this year, that while we will have one winning concept, well, this is going to sound a little funny, but everybody's a winner in this competition. So we encourage you, make sure you sign up, get your school on board. We will work with you, your educators, to make sure you understand the process. If it's 1,000 phone calls, we will do it. We'll annex her. We will make sure that that happens. And again, I mean, there's a part of us, I think yesterday when we were talking about this, that Bree should have just talked the whole time, because a perfect example of what can come out of this and the impact that we had on her, and the impact, more importantly, she's had on us. So I think from the educator, the education point of view, the academic partners, that the opportunity this can provide to your students, it is well worth it. So with that, I have a few more questions. Oh, we've already got our first team registered. Thank you, Doreen. I knew it was going to be you. Yes, excited. And I think we talk about when we see Doreen's asking, she's got our questions coming in already about different opportunities to research businesses, find statistics. That's what we want. Doreen, keep sending us those questions any way that we can help. As I had mentioned before, myself and Shani Mohammed from the Wilkes-Barre Connect team, you know, we're in that chamber world and then network world and economic development. So we've got our state partners that can identify businesses, industries across the Commonwealth and make those introductions. You need stats and research, got it for days. We'll make sure it comes your way. With that, I think a few questions that have come through that's important, and I think what's important again is as we move through this is ongoing dialogue, and I'll kick this to the whole team. Already seeing, okay, how can we talk about post-direct effect innovation challenge? How can we link these students? How can we get our students to be the next breeze of what is happening? And so I think I'll kick it around to the team, but I know that again is a focus that we want to ensure that this isn't a one-time 3-round event that they move on. We want this to make We want this to become a family atmosphere, a lifelong relationship. So Vicki or Julie or anyone on the team who wants to address what we envision for post-direct effect.
Well, selfishly, I'd love to see, 100 new mail campaigns come out of this. And I wanted to weigh in on something you said, Joe, too. Some of the expertise from our industry, from the print industry, from technologists, Pennsylvania is rich in that. We also have folks from our industry who stand ready to support any educator, any student team, anybody with any of the technical execution as they're developing concepts or developing campaign ideas. So we want to make sure that that we stand ready to help support any of the needs that come in through the participants and the questions from the teams and the students as well. In terms of post, for me, the most exciting thing is seeing this body of work begin to take shape as real campaigns, real impact, real implementations. We were really excited through the process last year to see students get job offers, get internships, get new opportunities, create their own businesses. The impact of this is so broad, and we really hope to see in the long term this pull to economic development as well. That that's the goal, is to buy PA, right? Help support the development of the economy, the future of the economy, celebrate all what's good about the history, and look forward to the future. So any of these things that come through, like you said, Joe, doesn't have to be a winning campaign in order to have a winning impact. And there's so much room for opportunity for these kinds of impacts throughout. So more impact is what I would say. That's my short version, more impact after the campaigns.
Thank you, Vicki, and would want to take a moment again to thank Pedro and Noe for being a part of this. They could all day talk to you about the amazing talent that we have in our academic institutions across the Commonwealth. So again, a great opportunity to really highlight the talent that we have there. And I think I would love to bring Cassandra in to talk about the commission and the amazing commission that you have. They represent so many different facets of the Commonwealth, and just the opportunity that they can provide in the guidance and mentorship and the direct effect for the students participating as well.
Sure. And I think we as a commission, and obviously being a state commission, we have 24 private citizens, some of which are business owners themselves. We also have, 13 ex officio members that are state agency heads or, partners, so being able to leverage the commission's contacts and networks and being able to bring in the secretaries of the different agencies to be able to help these students through the process, both during and post, and use the commissioners as well as the agencies as mentors and ways to, again, to help the students develop these concepts. And to, listen, I think the Buy PA, promoting Pennsylvania, all 47 commissioners, have that same desire to do that. They're Pennsylvania proud. They want to showcase our Commonwealth too. And to be able to partner with the next generation of Pennsylvanians to do that is like the perfect partnership. So again, being able to partner with the commission, we're a statewide engine to be able to, we have commissioners from all across the Commonwealth. So we look forward to partnering with the educational institutions, but also with the student teams as they develop these concepts. And we are happy, like Joe mentioned, to be that conduit between making those connections to the appropriate folks for mentorship and help as they go through the process and post.
Thanks, Cassandra. And I would love to put Pedro and Noe on the spot quick, and I would love for you to weigh in and just address what your thoughts are on the competition, and more importantly, just really underscoring the opportunities that can be presented during academic industry partnerships.
I'll kick us off. I think multifaceted. First, from the historic perspective, just us being identified and being able to celebrate the nation's history in such a thoughtful and longitudinal way is an amazing opportunity. Secondly, just to kind of celebrate talent, not only the talent of the commission, but the great work of Cassandra in facilitating this and taking a concept, to practice has been absolutely exciting to see. And then lastly, as an educator, and I'm sure Noe can piggyback off of this, any opportunity to engage students through experiential learning, to give them an activity that actually has a culminating, tangible, experience and product at the end is the best teaching, tool and opportunity that can ever exist for an educator. And so, both as secretary and as an educator, I guess, and also as as a resident of Pennsylvania, this is really exciting from each and every one of those aspects and perspectives. So thank you for allowing me to be part of it.
I share the same sentiments as Secretary Rivera. I think when you think about higher education and the participants and the students, you often forget that there's a lot of things in terms of civic outcomes that come from a post-secondary education, the opportunity to engage civically and responsibly as a good citizen. This is a really great entry point for folks to understand the so what part of their education, how they can contribute to make a difference and continue to allow the Commonwealth to flourish. And I think that's a very important outcome that we're going to see from this current initiative, the previous one, and the future ones as well. So again, Joe, Cassandra, pleased to be here, and Bree, way to go. Way to represent the students of Pennsylvania.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pedro and Noe, and those are great words. And yes, Bree, like unbelievable, amazing, and congratulate you on where you're at, where you're going. I wish I could hire you right now. I would love to have you on my team. Your energy, your passion, it's amazing. And I'm so glad that all of our paths crossed together. So congratulations again. And as Vicki said, we're hoping that, it can help us with this challenge this year and being that, mentor for other students to be a part of this. So thank you. And Lisa, I wanted to throw it to you quick. And again, I got to witness, I was very fortunate to be at the regional competition, to see your students. I've actually said, the competition was held in our Think Center, which is, if you want to say, our version of the launching pad for our partnership with Penn State University, with Invent Penn State. And the room of which your students operated, I had a whiteboard set up, and still not erased. I left it up just as is because it was amazing to watch your team be creative and innovative. So I just want you, because I think it was such an important part, talk about that, of the reaction of your students of when you originally pitched this to them to where they are today.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, again, and to piggyback a little bit off of Dr. Ortega's comments, we are constantly seeking experiential opportunities for our students. And one of the most wonderful parts of the America250PA Challenge was that it very much replicated not only the way you would approach a project like this, but it also replicated the potential pitfalls and challenges and sort of, problem-solving opportunities that you can't always necessarily invent when you are concepting a classroom exercise. So, being in that, little war room sort of idea and sort of drinking coffee and sweating through ideas and arguing and drawing on a whiteboard, I mean, these are all lost arts that to the students who don't experience life in that way, was so exciting and so real and so, very easy for them to be able to understand and experience what it's like to sit in a situation like that as a professional and solve problems.
Absolutely, and I'm telling you, that board is never going to be erased. It's going to be up. It's fantastic, and I love the fact that in a rare coincidence, the Direct Effect Innovation Challenge was born in that same room of this innovation team coming together, and so it's
we look forward to all of the other schools across Pennsylvania competing for second place to us again.
Well, I think Doreen's already accepted the challenge, but I think finally, I think it's only appropriate, Vicki. I want to turn it over to you, and because you are the mastermind behind Direct Effect and the curriculum, and I think it's so important This is a great way to show that experiential learning that we talked about and Pedro had mentioned for these students, but there's some great opportunities for the schools as well, just outside the Direct Effect Innovation Challenge as well. So if you want to take a moment and talk about Direct Effect, what the opportunity that the US Postal Service offers our colleges and universities.
Yes, thank you. Actually, the Direct Effect curriculum was born out of another very broad partnership effort. The Postal Service didn't create that curriculum. We solicited for input from our partners, our colleagues, the experts in our field, in our industry, to help contribute content. One of the challenges with mail not being typically in the marketing curriculum is there's no more books about it. It's not current. It's really hard, to find content like that that's not very, very dated. So we thought, well, let's do it a different way. Let's go to the experts and talk about the topics that matter, that how you integrate in a multi-channel or omni-channel campaign, how you lift campaign results by strategically leveraging mail along with other channels. And so we developed this content. There's enough to support an entire semester's course if an instructor chose to do so, but it's also parsed out into modules so that it can be easily leveraged, take this piece out and put it in my existing course on one topic, take that piece and put it in another course. And to date, we've had, I think we're approaching the 100 mark of colleges and universities who have leveraged this content in whole or in part, mostly in part, to enhance and enrich the curriculum that they are teaching. And so it's a great way to get stuff that is current from the experts in these fields and pull it into the classroom to really enrich that marketing knowledge, that campaign development knowledge. And we update it all the time. And the team has done a great job of creating these ongoing webinars. Bree has been one of the featured speakers in our summer series of webinars, and our first sign up on the website today, Doreen and her team, they've been some of our featured speakers. So it's been a great way for us to enrich the network, to bring this information, the educators, the experts on this content area, and pull it all together in a way that we can help reflect it back out so that people can use it in the way that makes sense, that fits for them to really enrich that body of knowledge and that potential experience. All of this Direct Effect Innovation Challenge experience is actually a module in the coursework. So it's available for an instructor to do in their classroom as well. So there's lots of ways in here and lots of ways to apply it. And it's available to anybody for free, no cost. And we'd be happy to talk with anybody who's interested in, leveraging some of that content and enriching the experience of their students too. So thank you, Joe, for the invite to talk about that too. That's really where we started, and it's afforded us the opportunity to find these new ways in and the innovation challenges, thanks to our partners at Throughline, by really helping us develop that approach. And Joe, you too, born in Wilkes, Wilkes Bar, PA, right? Born in the basement, as we say. We're indebted to the collective here to really help us develop that and support it and help it grow and sustain. So,
well, I on behalf of our team of innovation, it's incredible to say to put that logo up alongside of ours and say that the US Postal Service is a partner. And I know every time that I've learned more and more about how the US Postal Service is just being just incredibly forward thinking on the technology side, it blows my mind. And by the way, all my coworkers now get their mail on their phone, just so you know. So with that, as we mentioned, America250PA.org, navigate to the Innovation Challenge tab. That's where you can register. You could actually find a recording of this as well. We'll also be distributing this to all of our partners. The registration link is there. Questions, materials, anything that you want to digest about this Innovation Challenge, it is there. But if we've missed anything, please email us. The email is right up on the screen there. It's also one click away on the website. We thank everyone. And before I finish, I just want to turn it over to Cassandra to close this out.
Sure. Thank you again, everybody, for participating. And we hope that you will sign up and have your schools and your students participate in the Buy Pennsylvania Challenge. I want to thank all of our presenters and our speakers today, because again, every single one of you has supported this commission from day one, and we are so grateful for that. I also just want to mention, I know that some of our commissioners, our America250PA commissioners, are on this call. So thank all of you for all of your work and your efforts to take this commission and, again, expand it statewide and to work with these students. We encourage you to do that. And in closing, I hope every one of you will join us and become a part of history. Thank you.